so pleased to have with us Akinyodongo. She's the CEO and Creative Director of Akinyodongo, Kenya. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you, and we're having such a colorful show today, perhaps for a sector that many people don't think about when it comes to business, but you have been doing this for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your brand, Akinyodongo, Kenya, and what you see as has been the evolution of Kenyan fashion over the years from the time you began to this moment.
Thank you so much, Yvonne, for having me here. I think you've really given us a very good brief in detail, which I think also I'd prepared, but like everything has been said, so you make my work very easy. I've been in the fashion industry for the last 18 years, going to 20 if I add plus the school years.
Yes.
And in fact, today I'm actually wearing one of my school projects 20 years ago.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, because I knew there was a question about why are designers very expensive?
Yes. Yes.
So this was just to show that sometimes it's the value of what we put in as designers in an outfit, and to have an outfit that lasts you 20 years. This has been worn for 20 years right now. So
also credit to you for remaining the same 20 years later.
Oh, please.
Which is what many would say would be the problem. But when you started 18 years ago, what was the sector like then? What were some of the challenges you had to surmount? And where do you see the market today for others who are new and coming in?
When I was coming into the fashion industry in Kenya, there were already people who were there before. And it wasn't an easy task for me because it's also an area that people don't perceive to be professional, or it's not a job or something. And I always make a comment and say that actually we are the doctors of clothes, you know. So people look at fashion and creativity as an area where failures in school are the ones to be in those areas. Either if you're not doing well in school, then you either be a tailor or a plumber or so I think by getting into the industry for me was to change the narrative and see how do I create a story that is my own story, and also tell a Kenyan story and an African story as well. And coming into an industry where even the locals, we as Kenyans, don't perceive that particular industry as an important industry. And of course, if you look at the history of our country, we many years, all the ginneries and all the factories that were doing the manufacturing, the 52 factories were closed, you know, and right now we only have 3 in existence. So meaning that it wasn't something that people are really talking about by the time I was getting in. So I had to create my own narrative, my own story, and push forward. And it wasn't easy. It was a one-man show. I was the tailor, the accountant, the designer, doing everything, you know. And just growing it slowly, I was able to tell that, you know, I want to create a different story. I don't want to be like my mother, who was a tailor, just at front of a shop somewhere. I want to grow it to the next level. And indeed, for the 18 years, I've been able to grow step by step and go to the international level.
Yes, and international, yes, local as well. And now you're seeing many of the things have grown, certainly.
Definitely.
Sometimes things have, you know, grown, other things have contracted. Where do you see the industry now? I mean, many would refer to you as one of the pioneers. Like you said, you came in, there were other designers, but many would say close to 20 years is a long time in the industry. So where is it now? Are there better structures in place, do you think, even for yourself?
I think there are better structures right now, and there's a lot to be done. There's a lot of things to be done. And of course, the government is also doing a lot of work in terms of how do we revive this industry? How do we reopen? You know, Rivertex was just opened. I mean, there was a lot of investment put into it to serve the public. And we have other manufacturers, those who produce fabrics, who are still in the business, and they've invested. They're trying to invest into new technology, get us new fabrics, and also just building the industry. So for me, it has really moved from where it was to where it is right now. And I think Kenya, where we are headed, is a better place than where it was before.
From a business sense, how would you put it? For example, ease of accessing the raw materials, textiles, fabrics, even the amount of skilled labor. Where would you say it is today?
It is better than it was before, and I say much has to be done. We still have to do a lot of work. Access to finance is a difficult place for us as designers, because most of the financial institutions do not also see, we've not been able to, I don't know whether it's the designers or the industry hasn't grown to the level that investors can see that this is an area that we need to invest in. But I think as the creatives and designers, we need to step up and just position ourselves and tell that positive story and say, you know what, this fashion industry is capable of growing to the next level. And just have engagement with banks and let them know that this industry is very possible. Personally, in my business, I've been able to grow. I've been able to get finance from a bank, which was a very tall order for me, you know, starting to keep your records. You know, it's always about keeping records, because creatives are always like, do business, get the money, eat it, but you don't remember you have to keep your records, you have to always do your financials right, and to grow to the business to a level where I was able even to get a mortgage because of through my business. And the store where you just visited the other day, it's a tall order. I mean, it wasn't easy for me, but I was like, how far can I push myself? How far can I be able to move and tell this story and do things that, and just show the next generation that it is possible, and also encourage parents that this is a profession like any other, because there's also a need. As I grew up in the village, somewhere in Siaya, it was very, you know, for you to grow up as a creative, people don't even understand what you're working. I mean, in school, people are like, this child is too creative, and I'm very sure there are parents out there with creative kids, and they wonder, what are they going to do? So I was very deliberate from the time I was starting my business. I want to be a business owner in the fashion industry that will be there to be looked at with the next generations to come. That it is possible to grow a fashion business in Kenya and be part of the change that you want to see.
Absolutely. I just want to ask you, as we close, it'll probably be a two-pronged question. You know, you talk about those in the industry. So how important is it to maybe come together that enables you to leverage, you know, even when you're speaking to government and other stakeholders in terms of saying, these are the policies we need to put in place? What would the importance of coming together? What are those things that you would like to leverage from government? And those who say Kenyan fashion is too expensive.
Okay. On the other hand, Yvonne, just to mention that I do sit as the chair of Kenya Fashion Council. And this came as a need for the market, because we realized that we're in different corners, everybody doing their own thing. But to engage with government, we felt that we needed to have a body that is able to engage with government and create change in the industry of what we needed. And thus, Kenya Fashion Council was born. It has got its board members, and also we have membership. And we are opening our hands to all the Kenyans to join. We have over 7,000 tailors as members. We have got about 20,000 designers locally. And even doing things together. We are currently running an order for Safaricom for masks. As an industry, we have tailors in Uhuru Market, Kenyatta Market, Gikomba, Ngara, and they just all come to, and the fact that the council was able to put that together and to ensure that the masks are cut in one place. We got fabric from a local
standards,
and creating the standards, and then because that will then direct us towards creating affordable clothing for Kenyans. I
see.
Yeah, because when we work together, then we are able to really put an impact in this industry.
Okay, I heard somewhere over 60 million masks.
Currently we're working on about 80,000, and we hope to get more. And even as schools are opening, we want to send our messages out there for organizations that are going to maybe do masks for for schools and the government, so that they're able to involve the tailors from the bottom.
And I like that, because it's, you know, people from Gara, Uhuru Market. One sentence: Kenyan fashion is expensive. I know it will be hard. In one sentence.
I think there are different things that people need to consider. First of all, there's the cost of production, which is very high. And you cannot, there's also where you have to look at how many pieces you're producing. If I'm producing one piece for you, Yvonne, it cannot be the same price as someone who is producing millions and millions of pieces. You know, there's what incentives do designers have? You know, those are some of the things that the council now can work on with government and say, what are some of the areas that we need to work on? We have got the duty remission, which the government has just did in this last budget, and we hope that this will eventually help designers to be able to create affordable clothing. We have the local manufacturers who manufacture fabric. Again, Kenyans are very stylish. So what fabric quality are the manufacturers producing locally? Are they fashionable fabrics? Because designers do work with fashionable fashion fabrics, and the importation of the fabric. So there's a lot of, you know, when people say we are very expensive, I think there's a demographic of what is your target market?
Okay.
There's the high end, the middle, the low end. I mean, it's everybody has an opportunity to dress, and there's no excuse for any Kenyan not wearing local.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place to leave it. No excuse, because there's definitely, wherever you want to go, there's different price points. Thank you. Akinyodongo, she's the CEO and Creative Director of Akinyodongo Kenya, talking to us about the fashion industry, the evolution of it, and where we are and where we hope